Hello friends, old and new. There's a decent chunk of new subscribers on this channel, and I'm just so happy that you have chosen to join me on my writing journey. And I know I'm back early, but I was just feeling really mushy about the positive response I got from my comeback video, and I could not stop thinking about giving you all weekly instead of bi-weekly Preptober updates. Plus, I just had ideas for them, so why not? My name is Rhiannon, and today we are outlining. This video is actually going to be a two-parter, with the second part coming out October 22nd. I have something really entertaining planned for the 15th, involving one of my best friends. You'll see what I mean. In this video, we are going to talk about my method of outlining and prep. And in the second video, we'll go over the actual outline for my NaNoWriMo story and see what that looks like and talk about the book a little bit more. Disclaimer, I may say my outlining method, but I'm not claiming ownership over it. It's really simple. I believe a lot of people probably outline this way, and it's nothing too crazy. But if you haven't tried it before, maybe you can give it a chance and see if it works for you too. So let's switch over to my monitor for a minute. This is my outline for A Time When Demons, my 2020 NaNoWriMo project. I had some minimal notes leading up to it and then just spat this out so I knew what I would be writing. It's basically a point form story, and as you can see, I was crossing out segments as I completed them, so I'm just going to undo that now that you've seen it at its most basic. Now, as a plantser, some of my writing will change as I go. Reading through this, there are details that didn't wind up in the story and parts in the story that you won't see in the outline. Example, the first line just says, Aries partying life with undercurrents of betrothal discussion. So you'd think we'd hop right into that with the novel, but instead I did a whole intro about a mouse breaking into my Wicca family's home, so you get this lower POV leading up to our MC, Eris, as a character who sees herself as powerful. Also, the whole first half of the book is finished in half a page with my outline, with 5 more pages to go. These parts are blacked out because they are big spoilers and I don't want you to see them. It's all interesting to look back on, though. The outline for ATWD was pretty simplistic. Like you see, it's just paragraphs get a little bit bigger, but it's all similar sized points leading right up to the end. But I have one other complete outline I'll show you for my fantasy epic I've been working on for a couple decades. Yes, really, it's not good. I literally started ATWD and NaNoWriMo to prove to myself I could actually finish something. So with this, I've actually got 2 outlines on the go at the moment. One in that expanding sort of jot form, and another that is more chapter accurate or segment accurate. So you have like chapter 6 to 11, one event will happen. And I wrote most of that after I worked on the novel, whereas this plot outline I did before doing any writing. And as you can probably see, in this novel, I switch back and forth between main character POVs until they meet, and there are a lot of details to keep track of, so I'm really obsessive about getting that right to avoid plot holes. And with this one, you'll see each paragraph gets longer and longer and longer until I'm nearly writing full chapters. Just, I don't know, that's the way my brain works. But that's actually complete. I just have to complete the novel. Anyhow, time to go back to my face. Okay, now you have seen outlines for 2 other pieces that are much more fleshed out. So to wrap this up, I will show you where I'm at with my upcoming NaNoWriMo book, Societas Mystica, working title. I actually started with some pretty useless brainstorming, but it helped me get a grasp on what I was going to do. This story is sort of a dark academia. It takes place in a private school, and I've got my little drawing of the school up here. And I figured out how many students are there and how many of them are in dorms and how many are just coming from the school from their homes. And since our main character stays in a dorm, I've got all the students who are in the dorms, all their names. I tried to make those as random as possible because it's a lot to come up with. I've got my character's class schedule. I don't even know if that's necessary yet. Outlining is different for every kind of story, right? So Time When Demons was just like really basic. The idea came to me really suddenly. It was one of those ones where it's like, okay, I know what I'm writing about. I know the whole story. This one wasn't so much. I knew some general things I wanted to do, and I've had to really like actually create the story within those parameters, which is kind of different. So then I've got some notes about my character's parents. This society spans over quite a bit of time, so I've got a timeline like going back into the 1800s here. And then I don't know if this will be important or not, but there's some political stuff in there. So I have gone ahead and written like important events through like all of history, and I did this when I was on a train once, and I just wrote that down, and it was a lot. Then I've got some family trees. I've done notes about each generation, and about 2 different families. Let's see what else. Then I have brainstorming about different sort of like sects within this society, and I was thinking, oh, these, which might seem familiar. I've got the same symbols on my hands, elemental stuff, and I'm trying to bring in things about like the Gnostic state and chaos magic and sigil magic. It's kind of a big story, I think, so I'm getting a little bit scared about writing it all and actually finishing my draft. I have title ideas, I have books. I decided this is going to be a 4-book series, and I'm trying to figure out the theme for each one. The first one is kind of like the adventure begins, and I'm trying to have a theme about searching for home. That's going to be the first book. So I have all of those notes. I have my handy dandy Save the Cat breakdown. That's just going to be blurry, isn't it? It's Save the Cat. Just take my word for it. I've got this guy right here. After I did that, last night I actually wrote down what the book is going to be. Very, very simplistic. So not even half a page. And that's just the most basic storyline. And now that I have that, I am going to delve deeper for my outline. Last but not least, my pretty family trees. Got that one. I've got another one. There's 2 major families in the story. And then I have floor plans for the school. I've got ground floor, 2nd floor, the 3rd floor, and groundskeeping, housing, and the basement, which it's important, trust me. I'm not at the point yet where I have an outline like what I showed you with my other stories, but when I check in next, I will have that. And that's a bit about how I outline. Like I said at the start of this, it is pretty basic, and I'm sure a lot of you do something similar or exactly the same. If you do, leave a comment in solidarity. And if you don't, please tell me what your method is, because I am curious. Next week, I'm gonna be back with the promised entertaining video featuring one of my best friends, still writing related. And one other thing, I was thinking of doing live streams while I outline. If that would be of interest to you, please say so. It'll make it more likely that I'll actually do it if I know that I'll have companions there and I won't just be screaming into the YouTube void. I think if you're also participating in Preptober, it could be a lot of fun to work together. That's all for today. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and listening. Please remember to check out my links in the description down below, especially my Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you actually get notified when I post new videos. Last but not least, I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.